Hi, everybody. It's Miss Mays here, and today we are going to be talking about a brand new character trait. Today we are going to be talking about bravery. So, bravery is when you act with mental, moral, or physical strength, even when you know things are difficult or scary. So, today's quote says that bravery can only come from having something to be brave about. And we are going to be reading Sheila Ray, The Brave. And I'm going to read this to you because the volume isn't that loud. I'm going to mute the sound, and then I'm going to read. Okay. So this is Sheila Ray, The Brave by Kevin Hanks. There is Sheila Ray. And once again, it is by Kevin Hanks. Sheila Ray wasn't afraid of anything. She wasn't afraid of the dark. She wasn't afraid of thunder and lightning. And she wasn't afraid of the big black dog at the end of the block. At dinner, Sheila Ray made believe that the cherries in her fruit cocktail were the eyes of dead bears, and she ate 5 of them. At school, Sheila Ray giggled when the principal walked by, and when her classmate Wendell stole her jump rope during recess, Sheila Ray tied him up until the bell rang. "I am very brave," Sheila Ray said, patting herself on the back. Sheila Ray stepped on every crack in the sidewalk without fear. When her sister Louise said there was a monster in the closet, Sheila Ray attacked it. And she rode her bicycle no-handed with her eyes closed. Yeah, Sheila Ray," her friends yelled, clapping their hands. One day, Sheila Ray decided to walk home from school a new way. Louise was afraid to. "You're too brave for me," Louise said. "You're always such a scaredy cat," Sheila Ray called. "Am not," whispered Louise. Sheila Ray started off skipping. "I am brave," she sang. "I am fearless." She stepped on every crack. She walked backwards with her eyes closed. She growled at stray dogs and bared her teeth at stray cats. And she pretended that the trees were evil creatures. She climbed up them and broke their fingers off. Snap, snap, snap. Sheila Ray walked and walked. She turned corners. She crossed streets. It suddenly occurred to Sheila Ray that nothing looked familiar. Sheila Ray heard frightening noises. They sounded worse than thunder. She thought horrible thoughts. They were worse than anything she had ever imagined. "I am brave," Sheila Ray tried to convince herself. "I am fearless." The sounds became more frightening. The thoughts became more horrible. Sheila Ray sat down on a rock and cried. "Help," she sniffed. She thought of her mother and her father and Louise. "Mother, father, Louise," she cried. "Here I am," a voice said. "Louise!" Sheila Ray hugged her sister. "We're lost," Sheila Ray said. "No, we're not," said Louise. "I know the way home. Follow me." Louise stepped on every crack. She walked backwards with her eyes closed. She growled at stray dogs and bared her teeth at stray cats. And she pretended that the trees were evil creatures. She jumped up and broke their fingers off. Snap, snap, snap. Sheila walked quietly behind her. They walked and walked. They crossed streets. They turned corners. Soon, their house could be seen between the trees. Sheila Ray grabbed Louise and dashed up the street. When they reached their own yard and the gate was closed behind them, Sheila Ray said, "Louise, you are brave. You are fearless." "We both are," said Louise, and they walked backwards into the house with their eyes closed. Alrighty, so let's look at our questions. Now remember, we're not sending any answers in to Miss Mays. You are just answering these questions in your head, or maybe you have someone to talk that's next to you, right? All right, so how did Sheila Ray show bravery? How did Louise show bravery? Is it possible to be brave all the time? And finally, can you think of a time when you had to be brave? I just had to have a cavity filled, and I was very brave because I've never had a cavity before, and I was scared. It was okay, though. Alrighty. Thanks for watching my video, and I will see you all tomorrow. Remember, we're talking about bravery. Have a